Hello, my name is Rose. That's Dust Bunny. She says hi. So, I have no excuse. I'm an idiot. I made the assumption that I would be able to transport a computer monitor around the greater Chicago metropolitan area without it being cracked, which was factually incorrect. That is not what ended up happening. It ended up cracking, and it ended up making it harder to record because I was going from hotel to motel to hotel to motel in caring for my aunt during the recuperation period of my aunt's lung transplant. Things are about to stabilize though, because we're about to end up with a more long-term address that isn't a motel room, which will be, really nice. Look, I don't have an excuse. This started as a um, unfortunate mishap that evolved into a it's not okay to ask someone who's in the same room as you to not use the TV for an hour and just sit there while you record. Because she enjoys watching people play video games, but it's also not fair to be like, you can't watch your shows, you can't do anything. You just sit there silent for an hour. There's only 24 hours in a day. That's not fair. Um, so I ended up not recording. I could have, but I ultimately decided that because of the nature of my videos, I was getting burned out. Um, Last time I was making videos, whenever you put bored in a title, it's usually a bad sign for the channel that you are doing. Generally not a good idea. Now, as it turns out, there's going to be some changes on the channel. This is something that I warned about in a previous video. Um, if you look back a month or so, I was like, well, I'm not always going to make Minecraft videos. And that might be about to happen. It's not like I'm walking away. What is happening is there's going to be more diversity of content because one, logistics has made it hard, as well as time. It takes a lot of time to edit a Minecraft video for me because it's hard for me to decide what's worth keeping and what's worth throwing away. Because there are plenty of jokes that I could have kept that I've thrown away over the last 6 months in these videos. Sometimes I just decided they were a little off brand, or sometimes I decided that they didn't land, or whatever. So that might change a little bit. It might come closer to being old school content, like it was more than 6 months ago. But every once in a while I will upload Minecraft. It's not like that's going away, but it's gonna be more types of content because I don't want to get burned out again. I'll just make the content that I feel like making, and I'm not gonna leave anyone behind. And it's just gonna be a good time. Now, logistically, until I get a computer monitor, videos are going to be less common than they were prior. Maybe once or twice a week for a while. Maybe more than that. I don't know. Because till I get a monitor, I'm at the mercy and whims of basically sharing a TV for the purpose of recording versus watching TV for fun. I don't know. I mean, I'll figure it out, but it may come down to, waiting to get a monitor. Now, something else that has kind of been a thing is there are a few series that I kind of stopped doing for much the same reason that I was playing Minecraft and I committed when I didn't mean to. Because I realized there was an opportunity for branding, like rebranding. And I made an assumption that I would stick to what I'm doing. But like usual, that's not what ever happens. It just isn't. So I'm not going to change my branding, but what I am going to do is make the content larger scope. So there's still going to be Minecraft, but there'll be the other things too. I'm probably going to start playing some indie games when I get a monitor. In the meantime, I'm going to do what I can um, to have content. So I think one of the things that will, in the shorter term, resurface is Super Mario 64. I need it to be a game that I can play that I'm not like, I don't know. I don't want to subject my aunt to a horror game whenever she's not into that. Horror is a genre. So it's going to be games like Mario 64 for a while. But pretty soon we're going to be back to indie games and it'll circulate between indie and Mario and Minecraft. Because one, I want to finish Mario 64. That was something that I just kind of walked away from for no reason. And I could totally edit that. Though it might feel weird to edit because in the past I've done like speed runs and stuff, but I'm more of a casual gamer these days. And I kind of want to lean into that. But anyway, I'm just going to end this before it gets too long. I just want to say the times are coming back where I'm going to be recording and making content for you guys. I do want to apologize. Obviously, the things that you hear from every YouTuber who's ever taken a break. I got a little bit of burnout. There was a situation that prevented me from coming back sooner. And I'm back, but it's going to be slow going at first. So, love you guys. Subscribe to become an Apple today. Subscribe or else. Subscribe or you're a pear, which is gross. Apple a day keeps the doctor away. You know the drill. Subscribe or else. Bye.